Today is January 4th, and I am working on my PBR contest. It's piece, and it's freezing cold here in Atlanta, Georgia. So the first stages of me doing this is to paint the background black. Ooh, exciting! Look at that. Inhale. So the next step in the process is to lay some tape down. I like to use blue painter's tape. Doesn't stick as much. Easy to remove, and makes it a little simpler to do some of the things. Masking tape tends to sometimes leave a little bit of residue, or painter's tape, since I'm painting, you see the reason. So here we are in my kitchen, where it's warm. Alright, so I'm going to lay this tape down, and then we'll move on to the third step, okay? Thanks. Tape is down, so now I'm going to take it outside and spray paint it blue. I'm really trying to go for more of a burst here as opposed to even raise. So, you can lay the tape down any direction you want to. I just kind of see it this way for the background of this piece. I'm using Montana Gold spray paint. It's the Shock Blue, light blue. And then I'm just going to spray it in even kind of coats throughout the piece. I want to try to be solid. One of the next steps I do is I make a stencil if I'm going to add stencils or anything else to the piece, and I start cutting it with an X-Acto. So I'm going to start cutting, and then I'll lay the stencils down and we'll go from there. So I removed my tape, and there's kind of the design that I put in it. And then I went ahead and I spray painted my stencil, and it says 1844 Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Because that's the first year that PBR was bottled and where it was bottled at. So I went back over and I added this 1844 stencil. I converted the 1844 Milwaukee, Wisconsin stencil into it just saying 1844. And I sprayed that in kind of a pattern in the background. So that was the next step that I worked on. So once I've put down the stencils, got them kind of where I'm going to go, the next step in this process was to kind of block off a little section of the painting for me to do the image that I want to put on it. And so that's what I'm doing right here. I'm going through and I'm just painting down a white layer and kind of blocking over some of the stencil, making a little bit of a mess, kind of giving it a little scratchy or dirtier feel. That's about it. All right. So the next step is what I like to do is I sit down and I pencil out the drawing that I'm going to use, and then I get this wonderful stuff called Surral transfer paper, and what I'll do is I'll transfer my original drawing then to my background, and then I can go back in and paint it up and ink it out. So I just go in there and I'm doing a little more colors, kind of filling in more. As you can see, since the last time, last step, things have changed a little bit. Just kind of go in and I add the colors that I feel need to be there. Like maybe I want to put a little more baby blue right here in the mouth. Kind of open that up a little bit. But then I kind of darken it up just a little bit more. So that's what the rest of the process will go like. Is I'll just play back and forth with tones and shadows and colors, and just a little at a time I'll keep blending and adding and making it take a little more life and shape. And then we'll go into the line next. One thing that I get asked in a lot of my drawings is, what do you use to line your work with? And I use golden carbon black fluid. It tends to move a lot easier and help me get some of these lines that I want. And I just try to use the smallest brush. I don't have a particular number brush I like to use. So So the next process of what I'm doing here is I'm going through and I'm actually redrawing what I originally drew, but with paint this time. So I'll show you some more as we go along. So I've gone back and made a few small changes to the original design. It's kind of in the midst of painting it. I saw a few things, like I want to add some bubbles, come out some foam. And I'm going to paint that like an amber color. Then I added a mouth to it, which the original did not have. So I'm going to test that idea and see. Maybe in the final it'll be there, maybe it won't. But yeah, so I'm just kind of playing around with it. Here's the progress as we start going on. We'll see how it turns. So here we are. I'm kind of going back and I'm just kind of messing up some of the background, trying to build some shape around it. There's no real rhyme or reason of how this goes together. I just kind of play with the color a little bit, add some stuff, you know, add some blues, some whites, kind of do things like that to give it kind of my own style, maybe kind of build like an archway behind him, just to kind of make it focal point become some of the actual beer can Shriner here. And yeah, so we're gonna keep working on this. Just want to show you a little bit more. So here is the final process of the painting portion of it, where I've used all the acrylics, and now I'm going to go back and do a few more spray paint things to it and call it a day, I think. So standing back out in the freezing cold, added a few more 1844s to it just to kind of cap it off. Maybe put one more in there, and then I think we have got a final contest entry. Hey guys, just wanted to thank you guys if you made it all the way through this video. Don't know how exciting it was, but it was fun to make, and I'm glad to be part of this. For more stuff about me, you can go to UrbanPop.com. That's URBNPOP.com. Thanks.